Right, the EIGRP Advance. The summarization. When we have millions of routes, hundreds of routes, thousands of routes, the routing table is too big, and the process utilization is going very high. To find out one route to a destination, it needs to run through. It needs to run through many line of codes, routes, which is a process killing and time taking. So we need to do summarization so that the routing table can be minimal. To reduce the size of the routing table, summarization is one of the method. We'll be seeing later other methods. One of the method is summarization. Every routing protocol supports summarization. Now,
summarization means convergence.
No. Summarization, you see, you got 100 routes and you reduce it to one route. So instead of 100 lines in the routing table, you got just only one route.
Okay.
That's called summarization. You see.
Which means merging of many routes to a single route.
Yeah, you can say like that. I don't have a writing pen, but I'll manage to explain you. You see here, we got 172.16.x. Here x may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 255. You understand? X may be 172.16.1/24, isn't it?
Yes.
If you take up to this octet, then it is 24-bit, isn't it? So I don't want to advertise all those 255 networks. So I summarize it to /16. Understand? Okay.
Yeah.
So we can do something called auto summarization, where you no need to specify what mask to carry. You can simply ask EIGRP to summarize to class full boundaries. You know what is class full boundaries? If it is class B, then the class full boundary is /16, isn't it? If it is class C, then it is going to be /24. If it is /A, it is going to be /8. So that is what called as automatic summarization. It automatically summarizes to class full boundary when you enable that summarization. But you can also enable summarization under the interface. We call it as manual summarization. You see, manual summarization is another type of summarization that EIGRP supports. And this summarization is under the interface. Okay. Let me try to underline the word. You see, interface level summarization or interface basis. For example, if you take this picture here, you are using summary address only on this interface.
Yeah.
When it is advertised in this direction, it will be advertised like /16. On the other interfaces, it will be /24. You see, only when it is sent to router, only when router C advertises this to, it is advertising just a summary out on serial 0. So this is possible by doing interface level summarization, which is also called as manual summarization. Let's read these lines that we see here. You see, manual summarization is configured per interface basis. Now when you summarize a network, that summarized route should be there in the routing table. Otherwise, it cannot be advertised. Only those routes that are in the routing table
Mm-hmm.
can be advertised. So what happens is when you configure a summarization, the summary route will be available in the routing table,
Yeah.
but it will be pointing towards a interface called null zero. Why? Because summary route is the summarization of networks from various interfaces. So it cannot point towards a single physical interface. So to keep it neutral, it is pointing towards a dummy interface. It's not a real interface. It's neither a logical or physical interface. It's dummy interface called null zero. All right, and then when all the detailed route goes away, the summary route also will go away. Now, if you have different metrics on different precise route for which the summarization is done, then the minimum metric of a specific route will be taken as the metric of the summary route. Let me tell you one example.
Yeah.
Let's say this is the point from Kodamangalam to this point. It is 5. Metric is 5. Same Kodamangalam, but in this direction road, if you come to Ernakulam, it is 10.
Yeah.
From Kodamangalam, if you come this direction, the metric is, let's say, 15. Now, you are sending a summary route about Kodamangalam to Coimbatore. Now, Coimbatore, when it receives the route, which metric will be there? Will there be this metric 15 or this metric 5 or this metric 10? Which metric will be there? It will be
5.
minimal metric.
Minimal, yeah.
Right? So how do we configure summarization? I was talking about auto summarization, which is global. So you go under router EIGRP. See the mode here? It's a router mode. You enable this command. It will summarize to classful boundaries. But if you go under the interface and do summarization, which we call as manual summarization, the command is not the same. The command is IP summary address, EIGRP, let's say 10 autonomous system number, and then the way that you want to summarize, optionally you can give administrative distance. Like this. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Now you see, after you summarize, you see the summary route is pointing towards null zero.
So, sir, there is some black hole thing, right? So, will it
What black?
come as like black, for instance, like black hole route with the null zero as interface? Next stop is null zero.
That's not a black hole. Look at this. See, 172.16 is a summary of this one and this one. You agree?
Okay.
Now,
I agree.
they belong to two different physical interfaces, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, how can the summary route point towards only fast Ethernet? Not possible, right?
Yeah.
So it cannot point to one of the interface. So what they did is to avoid problems, it is pointing towards some dummy interface. So that will not end up in a black hole. When a packet is received, it knows whether to send via serial or fast Ethernet. If it is .2, it will send to fast Ethernet serial. If it is .1, it will send to fast Ethernet. So this won't appear in a black hole scenario. You okay now?
Yes.
Next. This is another important topic. But I remember I have skipped one important topic in the previous chapter which you forgotten to tell me. We did this, we also discussed on this, isn't it?
Yes.
Wildcard mask. But we did not do this.
Okay.
So let us do
Yeah.
this.
Okay, sure.
You know, this is one of the confusing topic for many people who say they know EIGRP, they don't have real confidence on this particular page. Now, what is this? You see, router A is the edge of your company. Let's say this is your company network. This is your company network. And you got many routers. Here they have drawn only one router. You assume that you have many routers. To go to an external autonomous system, the only way to exit is
Via router.
router A.
Yeah.
So instead of we writing a default route on every router, I repeat, instead of writing a default route on, you remember default route we used to write now 0.0.0.0 any net.
Yes, yes.
Instead of writing the default route, go to A, go to B, no, instead of sending all the routes manually writing a static route to A, we can make use of EIGRP to do that. See, this is the output of router B, but it has got star on it. What is star? Default. What does that mean? It means that if any network B do not know where to send it, if for any packet, if we did not know where to send it, if we don't know the destination in the routing table, it needs to simply forward it to this network. Who is that network? Who is that network?
That's external thing.
See, you don't need to write a default route now. Because your router clearly knows that, you know, your router very clearly shows that any network I do not know, then I have to forward the packet to A. I have to forward
So which means like
I have to let me finish.
yeah. Yes.
I have to go to external network. If I need to go to external network, I have to go to A because it knows A's address. A's address is correct. It knows A's address. A's address is 1064.02.
02.
Yeah, question please.
So external AS will be like
Internet.
installed in some internet. Okay, WAN side, right? Okay.
Right. So how do we achieve this? Very simple. We need to first define the ISP's network as default network on router A. You see, this is configured where on router A. You are saying to router A, this is a default network. What does that mean? If any destination you don't know, you need to go to this network. That's the meaning of default network. You got it?
Yes.
If any destination you do not know, you have to forward the packet to this network. So you have told only to router A. But how will you tell to other routers? We need someone support. We take use of EIGRP. So because you are already running EIGRP, we can make EIGRP to inform this to others, other EIGRP routers. See, only on router A, it is S star. Why it is S star, you know? Because you have written a static route to that network of ISP and you have defined it as default. Because you have defined it as default, it is having star on it. Usually star you will get when if it is 0.0.0.0, isn't it? Yes. But you can also define a network to be a default network to have a star. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
we got
Yeah.
a star network, but
Star, sir, one question, I mean, in bracket, it's written 1/0, right? For
it
static
is
route?
nothing but administrative distance. I told you when I was teaching a static route, if
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
giving next router's address, it is 1. If you're giving
Mm-hmm.
interface instead of this, it is 0.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Now, you have a static default route. Now, when you advertise that same default route inside EIGRP,
Mm-hmm.
EIGRP will also say, hey, this is not a normal route. I'm giving you a default route.
Default route.
So
Mm-hmm.
B comes to know that there is a default network called 172.31. So if I do not know how to go to Yahoo, I'll follow this route. I'll forward
Mm-hmm.
it to this destination, and this destination
Mm-hmm.
will send it to ISP.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is easy to explain, but when you do, you will have some practical difficulty. I want
Mm-hmm.
you to take a snapshot of this now. Take a snapshot.
You mean snapshot, right? Picture.
Yeah. Okay. You just write a static default route pointing towards A for the return traffic. When you ping, the reply should come,
Mm-hmm.
no?
Yes,
So
yes.
you write a static default route. Inside here, in these 3 routers, you run EIGRP
Mm-hmm.
and give this network as a default network on A.
Mm-hmm.
Also write a static route.
Mm-hmm.
Also advertise that network.
Yeah.
When you advertise, you should see on B router, and if this is C
Mm-hmm.
router, B and C router having a default route, D star.
Mm-hmm.
Is it clear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's clear.
You